So compassion isn't innate. We all like to think we're compassionate, but it is actually not innate. And I don't want also for it to be mistaken for pity. It's not pity. It's not feeling sorry for
Mhm.
somebody. It's compassion, which means to really suffer along with somebody. You can't really feel somebody else's pain or have their experiences, right? But compassion gets you close. It's an act of imagination, right? To try to imagine how this person, right, is traveling in the world and the journey that they have taken and how you might take that journey side by side with them. That's really what compassion is, not mercy, not pity, but compassion. But you have to learn it. And I think in a day where everybody I talk to is talking about mindfulness practices and, yoga and intentionality, I like to think we could put this into the bucket of things that will make us better humans, which is to develop a regular practice of compassion. And I think the most critical tool for that is curiosity. Right. It's like we're brought into the world as little children and we're curious about everything. If you've ever been lucky enough to have children or be with children, you see them right out in the world, and seeing the world through their eyes is amazing. Everything is an adventure. Everything is curious. They want to know how everything happens and why and why and why. Right. If we could recapture some of that curiosity that I do think we're born with, right? And it gets a little dull as we get older, we get a little more judgmental and less curious. If we could reignite that, that is the most important tool to finding us to compassion. And what's important about that is if you can use that tool to develop enough curiosity to get you to understand and get to compassion, right? That also compels us to act. So the other thing I think that's important about this, right, is if we're going to make the world a better place, and most of us want to make the world a better place in which whatever way we can, whether that's on our block, in our neighborhood, in our schools, in our jobs, or you work in social justice, most of us want to make the world better than the way we found it. And if you're going to do that,
Mhm.
nothing will get us there faster than developing the curiosity, which leads us to compassion. And compassion inevitably compels you to act because you see the shared humanity, right, in another. And that makes you want to make a difference. That makes you want to help. That makes you want to support. That makes you want to understand. That makes you want to actually make that connection and be less judgmental. So let's develop our curiosity tool, and hope that with that we get to compassion. And with that, we're compelled to act, more often, and to stand up more often when we see injustice, to stand up more often when somebody needs us, and to remind ourselves that, we're all connected in this great big human experiment.